Hey, good day, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn, founder of Active Trend Trading. I think you're really going to enjoy this particular video where I explain how to use dynamic support and resistance so you can develop conditional orders to actually buy and sell your stocks for basically get in for a discount and sell at a profit and do it all basically on autopilot. So that's pretty cool. But before you leave this intro, hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, go down on one of those sides there and you'll find the subscribe button. Please subscribe. Please give us a like and a thumbs up and hit the little bell to basically say that way you'll get notified of additional content when I post new content. And last but not least, check the links down into the description that you'll find to be able to find how to become an Active Trend Trader member. And let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, watch the video to the end because I'll offer you a special deal towards the end of it. Aloha.
Okay,
God bless
good
everybody.
day, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn, founder of Active Trend Trading. I'm sure you've all followed the three things I wanted you to do when you basically got started with this video. Of one, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, hit the bell to be reminded of future and upcoming content. And then lastly, look for the links down into the description and hang on to the end of this video because I'm going to show you how to link in and find the best stocks on the internet. So today's session of my market trading tips is just very simple. How to use dynamic support and resistance to do what? To put your trades on autopilot. As an old naval aviator, we didn't fly on autopilot that much, but when we did, it was very relaxing and it was a good time to do. And so I want to address and talk about that a little bit today, how you can basically use conditional orders to place your trades on autopilot utilizing the charts to define where to anticipate dynamic support and resistance. So every week, I come out with a list of stocks. Basically, I call it the Power Rank Elite list, where I've gone through over 500 stocks from the Investor Business Daily, their premium watch list, 13 different watch lists. And then from that, it spits out about 15 to 20 stocks that I'm really interested in. I call that the Power Rank Elite list. And then on top of that, then I refine my analysis and I come up with 5 stocks every week that perhaps are getting close to a buy point. And I want to highlight one of those moving forward. Here's what I send out to my top 5 members. And we call this a go, no-go table, or you might want to call it your autopilot checklist. And on this, I list 5 stocks. And one of the ones I want to highlight that we just did here recently is RGEN. Now, this is current information, okay? This is from the report I did on April 12th. And as you can see, RGEN. It was a stock that was looking really good. It had been on the list a couple of times previously, but we started to get a setup. And what I spell out to people, there, let me enlarge that for you so you can see it. There you go. What I highlight to folks is I highlight to them exactly one, let me get my drawing utensil out here, is what I'm expecting the stock to do. I've identified 1, the resistance area. I've identified 2, the support area where we would anticipate a potential bounce. And then as I define, go through the rest of the alert, this comes out every week. And again, I identify 1, where I expect the price action to pull back towards. And then 2, on top of that, is where I'll put an alert when prices start dropping. And then this trade setup, this is basically the important part of the autopilot portion of this trade. I'm expecting a retrace. If it retraces back towards 95.75, trigger an order at 96.25. If I drop below $94.30, that's my stop loss. That is basically defining my risk for this trade. And then I also want to identify a T1. What's T1 stand for? That is my level for my first profit target on this particular trade. As you see what I put in here, 101. And each one of those are based on my technical analysis of the expectations of what's going to be happening. Where did these numbers come from? Well, that's the part of the secret sauce, and it's not really a secret. It's just basically comes from the 30 years plus experience I've had at reading stock charts, that anybody can learn how to do this. And so where do those come from? They come from specifically dynamic support and resistance. And typically when people talk about dynamic support and resistance, what they're talking about is the moving averages. And so as you see here, here's RGEN. And if you'll remember correctly, this alert table went out on the 12th. And the Thursday before, because it was the Thursday before was when the week before stopped trading, we had this this candlestick right here. And what was it doing? As you'll notice, it was basically, let me get a picture. Let me get a slightly different color here. What was happening is it was bouncing here. Prices were bouncing off of a uptrending trend line. And it had bounced 3 times off that. So I just was able to extend forward, and also that trend line tended to go right along the dynamic, the moving averages, which was our dynamic support. And so I was able to go in and define, here's what I expect happening. I expect price actions to hold along that line. So that gave me a target to go ahead and enter at 96.25. So if price action pulled back to either 95.75, I could trigger in on a rebound back above 96.25. So we click forward one day. And what I did here was basically we modified this order first thing in the morning and just put it out as a buy order on a retracement to 96.25. And sure enough, that day, price action fell how far? Fell to 95.91. 95.91. And where am I getting that information? Let me show you real quick. Just look up here as I move my cursor around down here. Okay, you see up there 95.91. That was my low for the day, right there on the line. That's where we had parked an order to basically jump into this trade. Now, one of the things I want to share with you further is, well, how did we do that order? And that's where the AutoPilot comes in on this. As you can see, what we're doing, let me roll this over here. Let me get rid of. And here's the residual of that actual trade on RGN. I still have 200 shares left of that. I bought it at, how much I buy it at? I bought it at $96.25, actually $96.62. I didn't quite get it at the low, but it's bounced up nicely and approaching my second target. But how do you put in an order like that? And let's clear this out of the way, and I'll show you exactly how I did that. Is basically I just went up here and I grabbed my trade. And I said, okay, cyber, and now I want cyber, I want RGEN. RGEN. And here's the way I built this trade. I just came in here, I jumped over here, I grabbed it, and I bought, in this particular case, I bought 300 shares. Now everybody's going to have to size appropriately for your own risk profile. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to buy 300 shares, and I wanted to get out at 3 different places. And so I won't go into the specifics on how I'll go into the specifics of how I set up the first trigger to get out. So I'm going to have the first order trigger all here. And I'm going to go in here and start digging around. And so what did I want it to do? I wanted it to stay good till cancel. And I actually just had it cancel, had the order cancel, but then I go into a little bit deeper. I had it good till cancel until that Friday. And where's that coming up at? There we go. And so I just go in here to my order entry here, and I want a good till canceled. I canceled it on that Friday. We'll pretend like that'll be this coming Friday, so I just put that in here. I put it to close at the end of the day, after the market is closed. Oops. They don't like those kind of signal, those kind of figures. There we go. And I put in here to buy at, basically I bought it at a limit of, what was my limit again? My limit I put in was $96.25. So now that order was ready to go. Good till cancel. It would self-cancel on the Friday. That way I'm protected and I don't want to have a surprise hitting me of buying something that I didn't intend to buy. I saved that. But then I want to take out my first profit, and I want to sell 100 shares when it gets up to my, either does one of two things. Drops to my stop loss, which if you'll remember correctly was, I think, $94 or so on this particular one. And so I go in here, I adjust that, and I do a reverse order. Create duplicate, the opposite order. Well, this time I'm only going to sell 100 shares of that. So I go back into my little gear there, and here's how I set this up as an automatic order. I want to sell. Do I want to sell at a limit? No. What I wanted to do is I wanted to sell at market if I take off my stop, my kill order that kills this order at 1600 on the Friday, because if it's filled, I want this to stay open until so my exit to get out was, let's take a little quick look at that. What was my exit to get out? Go back to my go, no go table. I think it was 94.50 or so. And I'm just going to throw it. I'll throw in here. If it drops below 94.50, I can always change that if I find that I have not written that down correctly. No, I'm sorry. It was 95.75 was actually, no. Yeah, 94.50 was my stop loss. And my first profit target was $101. So I put that in place. Now that's good to go. I can now look at this and say, okay, what's this going to do? I confirm to send, but I'm not going to send it because I'm already open to a position on this. And what it does is just basically I read back the order, buy 300 shares of RGN at a limit of $96.25. Cancel it on the 24th at 1600. That's well after the market closes. I'm over here in Hawaii. And then on my first target is sell 100 shares of RGN if either of these two conditions, this is good till cancels, if I drop below 94.50 or prices move up to 101. And then basically I'm done. And as soon as I send this, the order kicks in. And I will basically, the order kicks in, and it will, so 94.30 was what I would have changed that to, as you can see right here. So the order would kick in, and as you see, I was filled here, and then we just tick on forward to see what took place. Pow! We get the nice breakout. Now, does this happen every time? No, it doesn't happen every time, but it takes out my first basically my first profit target at 101, and actually it opened up here above 102.65 for the day. So I actually got out of this first order for 101.92 for a nice 5.5% gain in less than a 24-hour period. And then I hold on. My next target, again, what I do is I look to my left, and I find, excuse me, I look to my left and I want to find where is my next level of, resistance. And it was over here at about 108 to the top there. Excuse me. So now we're just basically, I'm in just the wait zone. I am not doing anything. This is totally on autopilot. And we click through the next day. What happens? Well, nothing. It's still continuing up. It hasn't given. And so once I did sell on this day here, I moved the rest of my stop losses up. So it's a trailing stop where it would be at least break even on the rest of the trade, or then as it continued to move higher, I moved it up to like $99 now. So even if this trade totally goes against me, I'll still make about $3 or $4 on the trade, which is about 3 or 4%. And I'm just waiting here. Wait, pow. It got really close to 108, got up to 107.6, 107.60, didn't trigger my stop. So I just continued to wait. And where did it go then? Then it fell back down, and now what's it doing? I'm bouncing back against support. Again, dynamic support of the 8-day moving average, and it's ricocheting on up. Hopefully it'll go up there and take out my 108. And then if I was trying to build a full position in this, I could have actually added to it right there, added to the position to make a full position again. So that basically is how we set up this whole trade, from the expectation clarified on the no-go list on the top 5 of the Power Rank Elite list. And then we got in here, took profits here, and then we're waiting to take our second profit off the table. So I showed you how to basically enter the order. I showed you the conditional orders, and those conditional orders is a great way to be able to put your trades on autopilot, so that way you can sleep at night. You don't have to worry about watching the market all day long. It's a great skill to learn, and it can be learned by anybody. It's a great skill to learn, especially if you're working full time and you don't have time to watch the market, or you want to go do something else. You want to go play golf. You want to take your wife shopping. Do whatever. So let's move on out. So as I indicated, hey, if you're wondering about what stocks I trade, and I trade only the best stocks, check out the Power Rank Elite top 5 list. Basically, you'll get one of these tables once a week on either Saturday or Sunday, highlighting where I'm going to place my orders, where I'm going to do the trades, what my stop loss is on. I measure I define my risk, and then project up for where my profits are going to be. Normally, we would charge, the monthly value is at least $260. We would normally charge $79.99 for this service on a monthly subscription. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, I also do a video that shows every one of the stocks that goes along with this table. So that's a live 15-minute video every week, so that you can be ready to trade. Anyway, monthly subscription, $19.99 per month, or your best deal, hey, get it $219 for the year. One trade, like the RGEN trade, will more than cover your trade, your subscription for the year. So last but not least, hey, there's where you find it on our website. I will place this link in the description on this video once it is posted. And then finally, in case I forgot, just remember that for more info, there will be a little icon that pops up there, and it'll show you how, maybe you don't want the top 5. Maybe you just want the Power Rank Elite list. That's great also. I offer that free, and it gives you basically the top 15 or 20 stocks from IBD once a week over the weekend. And then, hey, encourage you, watch the next video that's coming up. So until later, thanks for joining you. And if don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell, and check the links in the description. Aloha. God bless everybody.